You're still watching Morning Cafe with me, Anne Odida, and this morning we are unpacking the practical side of Africa's push for economic integration. We're talking about digital borders, trade corridors, and what it really takes to make East Africa just more competitive, not just within itself, but of course across the entire continent. And joining me for this conversation this morning is Lilian Mwai, the county director of Trademark Africa, and that is a development agency working to make trade easier, faster and more inclusive, of course, across the region. Karibu sana Lilian to TV47.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anne.
All right, to start us off, what does Trademark Africa, mean by business competitiveness? And this is in the African context.
Thank you for that question. Trademark Africa basically is an aid for trade organization, and what that means is that we were established when we realized from a review that Africa is not trading amongst itself and also with other global markets. And we do know that trade is a key economic driver and helps to result in reduction in poverty. And so when you look at business competitiveness, we asked ourselves, how competitive is Africa to actually take part in business? And when we looked at that, we looked and identified that there are different challenges that we face. That could be around infrastructure, it could be around trade policy, it could be around the digital systems that exist. It could be around there not being any platforms or opportunities for inclusive and resilient trade, meaning that women and youth are also not participating. And so in 2010, Trademark Africa was established. At that time it was called Trademark East Africa. We started with a focus on Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Burundi, basically. And we were looking at how do we make sure that we are now facilitating. We are not actors. We are facilitators, and what that means is we look at the trade ecosystem. For trade to happen, there needs to be support from the government in terms of the policy environment, in terms of the taxation that exists, in terms of the policies that are established. The private sector also should be capacitated and able to participate in trade. And also, when you're looking at regional trade, then regional economic communities come into play. How do we make sure that countries within the EAC are trading with each other? How do we make sure that, COMESA is also participating and such? And so we have been working with each of these trade ecosystem players to build their capacity, understanding whatever challenges that they are facing, so that we can be able to make Africa more competitive with each other, to trade amongst ourselves, and we can also be able to help African countries access global markets.
If you look at it from a country-to-country perspective, how does this differ? Say, when we zoom into Kenya, looking at Tanzania and Uganda, how are we trading on a country-to-country basis?
That's a very good question. Actually, when we look first, let's even look at ourselves as Kenya. We are